Hello there. This is Quality of Life, Grace Teaching New Covenant Ministry. We are talking today about trials. What does the Bible have to say about trials? And that's where we're talking. We just as an example, we can see now in the care centers, married couples going through horrific trials. An example of that would be the man, the husband in the marriage. He's afflicted with, at this time, 5th stage Alzheimer's. And say the wife is okay, healthy-wise. And so she's able to just visit him once in a while. And so these are some really, really horrific trials. These are tough. And working myself with 5th and 7th stage Alzheimer's for 14 years or so now, it's hard to see what the family goes through. So it's very, very difficult for them. And so we're going to talk about trials. And I just kind of wanted to set that up as an introduction. Don't worry, God won't allow more on us than His Son can bear. And God has a way of shifting our focus over to Christ through life circumstances and trials. And I'm going to read from 1 Corinthians 10:13. It says, "No trial has overtaken you that is not faced by others. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tried beyond what you are able to bear. But with the trial, will also provide a way out, so that you may be able to endure it." Now, in this text, they're speaking trial. But we also know that this also means temptation as well. Temptation to lean on our own understanding when things aren't quite as comfortable as we would like them to be. It says there that the Apostle Paul is saying that God has provided us a way, and that way is Jesus Christ, we know. Whenever we're going through trials, or whether we're being persuaded, enticed, and tempted to sin, we have that way, Christ living on the inside of us. And so God will never allow more trial on His Son than He can bear. And so we have to look to Him, Christ, as our very source, to see, first of all, how we're going to resist temptation. But more importantly than that is, how are we going to go through the trials of life? Okay? When there's endurance and forbearance and things we have to go through. It's like the soldier up at the front line. There's a forbearance, there's an endurance to go forward. It's not like a soldier can go to the back about 4 miles and say, guys, this is just a little bit too tough for me. I'm going to sit this one out. No, he's there. He's on the front lines. He's going forward, and he's staying there. And so that's the way it is. It looks like that in a lot of marriages, that are having difficult trials in their lives. And they have to go through this. And the Lord takes us through this. That's the hope that we have as believers in Christ. I'm inspired to talk about this because of a wife that I talked to, of her husband, in the facility that I've been working in. And I could see just what she's going through in that time. Very difficult time. So this is trials. I'm going to explain what trials are. Trials, it's a person, a thing, or a situation that tests a person's endurance or forbearance. It's the trials and tribulations of married life. Wow, yeah, married life. And so marriage can be like an endurance, and it's a very complex task, to trust the Lord in oneness with our spouse sometimes. We go through the trials of life. And so I'm sure they speak that about us too. It's like, man, you know, these guys, you know, let's face it, you know, we're still we're growing in grace, all of us. So, you know, but we're talking about people that are going through some horrific trials here. We're not just talking about difficulties in marriage here. We're talking about trials, and very difficult trials at that, that couples are actually going through. The Apostle Peter had something to say about this, and he encouraged us with the word from 1 Peter 4:12 and 13. I'm going to read from the text. That's 1 Peter 4:12 and 13. If you'd like to follow along with us, you may. He says, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery trial that is occurring among you, as though something strange was happening. But rejoice in the degree that you have shared in the sufferings of Christ, so that when his glory is revealed, you may also rejoice and be glad." He's saying, don't be surprised. Everything's on track. You know, it's okay. You know, if we look at the moon at night in the dark sky, he's going to paint a great picture of this. Trials are like the dark black sky, and the moon, the full moon, is like the glory of God. And so what happens is the black backdrop symbolizes trials in our lives as Christians. And what they produce is God's glory in us, not only so we can experience the glory of God, but so that others can experience the glory of God through us. And so, be of good cheer. I mean, you know, rejoice? Really? What does that mean? That's like something we used to experience as kids. You know, when your kids might experience this on Christmas Eve. They know that something great is coming tomorrow, don't they? And that's what he's talking about. Rejoice. You know, it looks bad now, but it's going to produce something. You know, and so this has been Quality of Life, Grace Teaching, New Covenant Ministry, and much more. I'm speaking on trials. And remember, you're the most important person here, because without you, we could not teach. Thank you, and God bless.